50% of LGBTQ employees have left a job because the work environment did not accept LGBTQ people. This is according to Dina Fides and Liz Cooper, a Workplace Divided, Understanding the Climate of LGBTQ Workers Nationwide Human Rights Campaign 2019. I'm Brittany Schweitzer, and this is Calling BS. Hello and happy Pride Month! This is one of my favorite months of the whole year. This month is about equality, love, being out and proud. The Pride Festival and parade started in June of 1970. This was after a riot started at the Stonewall Inn, which is a gay bar, in June of 1969, because of a police raid on that gay bar. This was the start of the gay rights movement. Isn't it crazy that was just 51 years ago? And to just think 5 years ago, the Supreme Court legalized same-sex marriage in all 50 states. I wouldn't have been able to marry my wife if this wasn't legalized. My wife and I started dating in 2013, and I remember thinking how sad I was that if we wanted to get married, we couldn't. I'm so happy that we are progressing in the right directions for equal rights, but we have so much further to go. We have a long way to go for equality for all. So many things are happening in the world, and we are still fighting for equality for sex, race, and sexual orientation. But together, we can do this. So far on Calling BS, I have done about 6 episodes of stories from amazing people. Some had positive stories and others struggled along the way. But for the most part, I noticed some similar trends with a lot of my storytellers. I have had some people that wanted their name hidden, some just wanted their last name hidden, but there were some that wanted to be completely anonymous, and that's fine. People also asked that no employers were to be disclosed, and honestly, Calling BS prefers not to mention them anyways, especially if it's a bad experience. But most of all, people want their story told and heard. Even though it may be hard to share the story with the world, they know others have similar experiences, so they want people to not feel alone. People want to feel connected and unified. So when someone shares a story, it makes you feel so much more heard. When they share their story, you know, if you're a listener, you're listening to them and hearing this, and you're thinking, wow, it's not just me. There's other people like this, and you feel better. The workplace is a place you are at majority of your week. For most, it's about 40 hours a week, and you want to feel comfortable with who you're around and who you're telling your personal life to. You never know what could happen if you told the wrong person that you're in a same-sex marriage, or if you're trans, or if you're any part of the LGBTQ community. Some people would rather say up front who they are or who their significant other is, and all power to those people. If you feel comfortable enough to tell your workplace day one about who you are, do it. Sometimes it is better to get that out and in the open, and you can find out point blank if that workplace environment is a good fit for you. Some people might not want to share who they are right away. I'm one of them. I kind of keep it in for a little bit and fill out the situations, but then there's moments where I feel pretty confident and I'm just like my wife, but I still have some almost, I guess, I feel like I have like shame in sometimes who I am. It's hard to go out and just be proud, and that's why I say a power to the people, my wife being one of them, that can just openly tell people, yeah, you know, I'm married to a girl or whatever, this is my wife and all this stuff. Because for some people it's just harder. It's harder to adjust to that, especially in the workplace. They might feel like they need to fill out the situation before disclosing that part of themselves. I've come up with a few tips to stay safe and positive in the workplace while in the LGBTQ community. If you ever feel targeted or uncomfortable at your work due to someone else, it's okay. But you need to tell someone. Talk to your manager or HR about why you feel uncomfortable, and maybe they can move your workstation away from the person that is making you feel uncomfortable. If it is your boss or your upper management that you feel isn't treating you right, if there is someone above them, go talk to them. You want to always make sure you feel safe and comfortable with where you work. You're there majority of the week. You don't want to feel like you're walking on eggshells somewhere that you're at majority of the time. If someone is being discriminatory towards you due to your sexual orientation, ask them to stop and explain why. If that doesn't work, again, talk to management or HR. If it is your boss or the owner and nothing changes, quit. You should not have to tolerate being discriminated against. You are valued and enough, and definitely an asset to any company. Sometimes you can't fit into a company culture because of what they believe in. So don't be afraid, even though you may be getting a good salary or whatnot, quit. And I mean that with the kindness of my heart. Don't be stuck in a job that you are miserable and you can't stand being there. Your anxiety's high. Even if your pay is good, it doesn't matter. Like, if your anxiety is just so bad, you don't need to have your mental health be affected. And I'll always say, find a job, apply for jobs before you quit. Make sure you have something lined up. But if it is getting to the point to where you are, getting targeted by employees, coworkers target you, and they find you and wait for you in the parking lot and try to target you that way, that's a very unsafe environment to work in. If they're trying to hurt you physically, you need to quit right away. There is no way anyone should have to tolerate being hurt in any kind, emotionally or physically. Like, everyone's mental health is so important. And, people go on and on about self-care, but again, if you're going somewhere 40 hours a week, you need to be in a good mental place to be able to handle it. There are some companies and nonprofits that specialize in non-discrimination inclusive training in the workplace. So if you are a manager or a boss and you don't have anything in place about training for discrimination or acceptance in the workplace, look into your local companies that can provide this training for your whole staff. Or if you're an employee, mention this kind of training to your manager, boss, or HR to see if they can add it. It is so important that we all get trained. Everyone has different morals, and they're bringing them into the workplace. I know my company, with only 10 employees, has a very inclusive environment, and we do not tolerate discriminating. If any of my employees were ever to come up to me and tell me anything were to happen, I would take care of it right away. I don't tolerate it. I don't tolerate it in even my personal life. I think it's really great to explain that in an interview when you're hiring someone. Let them know that, we do not allow discriminating. We are an inclusive environment, and I like to call my company a family environment. We're all very close. There's only 10. So, we tell each other, what we did over the weekend and whatnot. So not every company will have that same culture. So find the one that works best for you. And if for some reason, if you're not feeling that where you work and you're just going there to get a paycheck, and that's okay with you, and you don't want to talk about your personal life, that's fine. Not, feel it out. But if it's something that, like, I have a wife, so if I'm going to work, and if I weren't able to just talk about what I did over the weekend with my wife, I think I would be pretty miserable. It would be very hard for me not to sit there and tell you what the fun thing that we did. We're going on this vacation or whatnot. Just the thought to live in a world where you can't talk about it at your company is not fun. We all want to feel accepted and supported, especially in the workplace. You are there the majority of the week, so being somewhere you don't even feel safe is bad for your mental health. Do everything in your power to feel good and safe. You are what matters. Yay, it's Pride Month! As the month of June progresses, I have been selecting different nonprofits to donate to. These nonprofits are showing up on the Calling BS Facebook and Instagram stories, so you can donate. There are a lot of these nonprofits that are supporting the LGBTQ community as well as the Black community. So don't be afraid to show your support by donating if you don't know how else to show it. Love is love, and that is what June is all about. For the month of June, I will have an episode out every week, so stay tuned for an interview next week. I'm going to have a very special guest of mine come on sometime this month. Also, like and subscribe to Calling BS podcast on Facebook and Instagram to stay informed. And if you have a story to share, please go to imcallingbs.com and submit your story there. I would love to share your words and promote your story. I want you to be heard, just like anybody else. When you submit your story online, you can tell me if you want it to be anonymous. You can tell me if you want to actually do an interview with me. I am here to be your voice if you cannot be your own voice. I'm here to support you in the LGBTQ community. Have a great day, guys. Thank you for listening.